Hey, this is J-Rock. You're about to listen to the Bone In Podcast. We'd like to remind you that the Bone In Podcast is a comedy podcast. And despite any insistence from anybody on this podcast, we are not experts of any kind, including scientists or doctors. All the research was performed by a bunch of idiots who apparently have way too much free time on their hands. All the information contained within is for entertainment purposes only. Our language will be lewd, obscene, crass, and generally offensive. So if that's not your particular cup of tea, this podcast might not be for you. Or if it is, but the kids are still up, maybe come back later. But if you're still here, enjoy the show.
Okay, we're back, and we have a bone to pick with something today. I believe J-Rock has something that has been bugging him all week.
This has been years.
Years.
Yeah, this has been, like I said, this segment is my segment.
This
I've
is
got
Jared's.
over a decade.
You've been waiting for this your whole life.
Yep, pretty much.
Wow.
Give me a microphone. And I feel like usually when we do hang out, this is you usually bring up a topic because it's
Yeah,
somehow.
you've been doing this kind of on your own freestyle for
Since I've known you.
10 or 12 years.
Now we just record it.
Yeah. Brilliant. That was really brilliant of us to monetize our friendship.
It is.
Yeah.
And we just
Might as well
now
get something
realized
out of
after how many?
I think we talked, 14 years for you and I think 10 now, no, maybe 11 years for Dan and I. Maybe even 12 years. When did we go rafting that one time?
That was like 11 years ago.
It was 11 years ago. So anyways,
Something like that.
There you go.
how long have you guys?
I've known. We already did this on a different episode.
Yeah, and I don't
but
think people care about this.
nobody
You know what
cares about
people do
this.
care about, though?
What's bugging you?
Ambush sales tactics.
Ambush?
Ambush, whether it be door to door or when I'm walking out of the grocery store and you
ambush.
try to. Did
I
say it
thought
weird?
ambush was like a new bush child.
I thought it was a new Bush child too.
Yeah.
That's kind of rude. Like, Anne
Like Jeb's,
Anne Bush.
maybe
Oh.
Jeb's daughter or something. It's like,
He's a toddler.
that's a
dude.
weird name.
No, like ambush, like they
Yeah.
they pounce on you just trying to walk out with your groceries, and they got to try to sell you a magazine or newspaper or whatever the hell else they're peddling out there. Because I didn't just spend way more money than I wanted to inside the grocery store. Now I got to find a way to not awkwardly basically
Bypass.
tell you to go
Yeah.
fuck yourself. I'm not interested.
You
If
ever-
I
You
want
ever
to,
just act drunk?
I never thought about that before. I usually
I've
just,
done that one.
I'll usually just like if they're at one
If
exit,
it's like,
I'll try to go out
especially
the
if
other
it's like
one.
a voting thing, I'm just like, excuse me?
Are you going drunk to the grocery store? I wonder how many people go to drunk to the grocery store.
Dude, drunk people have to do grocery. I
Oh.
mean, alcoholics have to grocery
Yeah.
shop too.
Yeah.
And now you can get beer at the grocery store, so you can probably
Knocking him back as you're
killing two birds with
at the butcher counter.
one beer.
Been drunk in a grocery store before.
Oh, okay.
We used to hang out.
Yeah, were you
next
not
to
ever
it.
a
Oh yeah,
teenager?
we used to hang out at a grocery store.
Went
You're
in there drunk
not
once or
wrong.
twice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I usually try to go the other exit or, avoid them. But that's not nearly as obnoxious as when you're at home. So in particular, what made me think of this, way back on the 4th of July, there was a guy going down the street. And initially I thought, poor guy, he has to be out on a holiday working. He should be off today. Shortly after, heard a knock at the door. I just didn't answer it because my neighborhood gets canvassed so much that I just don't bother answering my door anymore because I know it's a salesperson.
You're like, I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
No one's coming
Well,
to my door.
I would know if a friend or
Because
family
we would
was
text
coming
you.
over.
'Cause
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd be aware of it. So I just don't answer the door. Motherfucker comes back the next day, knocks on the door again, and he's doing this all up and down the street. Don't answer it again. Comes back a third day in a
Whoa.
row
Jesus.
and knocks on everybody's door. And I was talking to my neighbor, and he said the same thing. He was like, "Yeah, what was up with that?" It's like, can you not
A
take
little
a hint,
intense.
man? So
Yeah.
then after that, I realized, no, this guy wasn't. I don't feel bad for him because he was working on a holiday. He came out on a holiday knowing that everybody was going to be home
Oh,
and trying to catch
Sales
it,
Right,
tactic.
Right.
which is the worst type of sales tactic because you're in your home, you're one place where you should feel safe, secure,
Yeah.
and they ought to come bug you to again sell you
And
some
then on 4th of
pest
July,
control
maybe you
or-
are actually drunk, and he's like, you're
Maybe he's getting more sales that way.
yeah, he's just like
I would
drunk
think
people.
that would work against him though. Like somebody bugging me on, like for some reason, even though I don't believe in God or anything like that, but Sunday is like, to me, is like a day you don't bother people.
Is it because you're German? That's like a German thing, isn't it?
I don't know. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
But I think that's because they're mostly religious.
yeah, I was gonna
but-
say that's
But just like, like I don't expect to get phone calls or people coming to the door. Like it's a no soliciting day.
You can't even buy a car. Okay, I don't know. Can you buy a car in Colorado on
I don't think
Sunday?
you can.
Yeah.
I think they might have.
Like
that might have
legally.
changed. At one point, you could not
Yeah, you couldn't go to the pawn shop,
couldn't buy alcohol.
couldn't buy alcohol, all that stuff. That's probably why I think like Sunday is
Boring.
some kind of
They want you to
special
stay
day.
there. Yeah.
But like, so if somebody came to my house on a Sunday and was trying to sell me shit, I'd be even more pissed than if they did it on a normal day, any weekend, really.
Yeah.
So if they came on the 4th, I would think that most of the people he was bothering on the 4th of July just told him to eat a bag of dicks.
I hope they did.
And I feel like 3 times that's really that's almost like red flag behavior. Like that's kind of intense. I feel like if like once, okay, twice, you're like, oh, maybe he's coming back, but 3 times that's too much.
Yeah,
just
that's
too-
you're
like, that's,
You're
getting
out.
into-
you're out.
That's 3 strikes. You're out.
that's
a little desperate. Well, maybe he's
Exactly.
desperate. I don't know. Maybe he's.
Do you know what he was selling?
no, because I didn't talk to him.
Dylan will do that where he'll be like, because we have a Ring camera, and he's like, well, who's at the door? And I was like, I didn't answer it. Like, they could figure that out. Or he'll say like, what were they hawking? What were they hawking? I'm like, wow. I watch too many crime documentaries to answer doors to strangers. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I got like a couple days, maybe a week ago, I got some Christian propagandists tried to read me a Bible verse.
Which flavor?
Which flavor of Christian?
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. White?
Why? It,
They were white ladies in their 60s.
did they have any scary content? Like you may be going to hell?
No, she just started like opening her Bible
Oh,
and started reading. And I was like, ma'am, you're really barking up the wrong tree. I don't want to waste your time or mine. And she's like, okay, thank you. And then left.
Yeah,
She was nice about it.
yeah.
But
that's a very nice way to do it. I had one guy once during the summer. I had the door open, and I was coming around the corner right as he was walking up the driveway, so he could, we could clearly see each other. And I just gave him a nope, and he like tried to say something. I was like, nope. That's it.
The
It's
gown.
they're so pushy, and they will not take no for an answer.
Did you ever go to that laundromat by our old apartment?
Mhm.
So I was there, and
you
there
guys
was
used to live together?
no. He lived down. We lived in the same complex. It was like
Oh,
down the
gotcha.
like I don't know the road. Not really the road. It was down the complex.
At the
Anyways,
other end of the different building.
Yep. So I had 2 ladies come up to me and talk to me as I'm doing my laundry, and then they hand me material, and it was so spooky. And I was like, "What?" But they were like super nice ladies, but it was like all this stuff about how I was going to hell, and I was like, "What?" It was a comic book.
Oh, yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
those. Those
It's
are
like,
great. Mm.
What? But I didn't look at it until they left, and they were like they were like middle-aged women. Their hair was very nice. They had nice nails, and they just handed me this literature, and I just was not expecting it.
And it's still very annoying when it's religious, but at least those people believe they're doing good.
Well,
Like
I think
they're
that guy
doing you
probably
a favor?
believed that he was doing good.
No, he doesn't. He's just trying to make money. He's trying to sell. Because at my last job,
Well, he's
that
trying
was
to.
part of what we were supposed to do. And the guy that I was training with, we walked up to a door that had a no soliciting sign on it. And I pointed it out. I said, oh, they don't want us in there. And he goes, well, no, we're not soliciting. We're offering a service.
But
That's the kind of mentality these people have.
what is the
They're
definition of
monsters.
soliciting?
They're terrible people.
What
It's whatever you
I
want
just
it
wanna-
to be.
I just
if
wanna-
you just make up the rules.
Because I want to know, like,
I don't know where my phone is.
oh, it's right.
Hey, real quick. you look that up. I want to tell you guys a weird. She just reminded me with that comic book thing. This has nothing to do with ambush sales. It's a funny story. So, I used to work at this place called Carl's Jr. You ever heard of that?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Familiar.
So
Fine dining?
yeah, fine dining.
Hmm.
There's sauce everywhere. It's amazing. But so there was this. I can't remember who was with me, but there was like this attractive girl that had ate some food and was sitting in the lobby, and one of the guys was like staring at her, like wanted to go talk to her and stuff. I don't know if he did. I think he did, and she was like, "Oh, I'm not interested" or whatever, you know, because he worked at Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
Loser.
Well, to be fair, she was eating there.
Yeah, she's a loser too.
Yeah.
But anyway, she left. But they like left a piece of rolled up paper on the table, and then he went out and grabbed it, and it was like a rendered or a doctored picture of like her naked
What?
with
What?
somebody like completely in there, like their
What?
head was like, it wasn't real, but it was,
Why did she leave that?
I don't know.
For
Why did
shock
she
value?
bring it?
I have so many questions.
Yeah, it was weird.
That is honestly, you were going to tell me a story, and I was going to be like, I was going to shrug it off, like, okay, weird. But that is legitimately weird.
Yeah, it was very strange.
So I have the definition for soliciting, and it wasn't quite what I was expecting. Per
Is it hooking?
dictionary.com, the action or fact of accosting someone and offering one's or someone else's services as a prostitute. Although prostitution was not itself an offense,
It is
soliciting was. So when you say no soliciting,
There's usually more than one definition.
first one
So I
comes
got
up.
the wrong sign on my door.
Yeah.
Solicit.
You
is-
want that kind
Yeah.
of soliciting.
Okay, so to solicit.
We need to make better signs.
We do.
Please solicit.
Please
Well,
solicit.
No, because
Solicit definition 1.
Yeah.
that was
permitted.
soliciting. This is solicit. Ask for or try to obtain something from someone. So what he was doing was he was soliciting.
Yeah.
I don't,
Yeah. No, that's exactly what he was doing. He was just bending the rules, trying to pretend that it was different, but we were clearly there to try to sell somebody on something.
I do feel like though you should put up a sign that says please more soliciting. I don't know how to put that, but and then when they come up and they're like,
Wink,
excuse me,
Well,
You
they
could
don't
come out with,
typically
like-
go door to door.
or you could come out with like a sweet robe and be like, well, hello. And they're like, did you read the sign?
You saw my sign?
You saw my sign.
Maybe that's a business idea. Door to door
Door to door hooking.
soliciting. No, it's soliciting, remember?
I mean, it's still illegal if you
Oh, that
call it
was illegal, huh?
soliciting.
That's literally the definition, like explained that
Okay, prostitution.
Mhm.
And then if we get caught, we say,
we were just
no, it's fine.
soliciting.
That's that part. We weren't even soliciting it. We were just,
Yeah, we were just checking to see if people were all right. And then they invite us. Not us. Nobody wants us to.
yeah, that wouldn't,
We wouldn't make any money.
nah.
All right. All right. So that's one down. Weird story. You have anything else?
I got the
about
next one. I
ambush?
think the next one's better. It's more funny. So just go right into it.
No, I have one after.
You can go.
All right. Stop talking. So, Melinda,
Yes.
word on the street is you have a bone to pick
I
with something.
do have a bone to pick.
What's your problem?
I didn't have this bone to pick until today.
Just now?
and- Yeah, like just now, like not too long ago.
Is it about
No, it's not about.
Prostitutes?
No, it's
Okay.
not about prostitutes.
is
Actually,
it about
it's
found pornography?
No,
Good.
I don't think anybody has a bone to pick. Do you think anybody has a bone to pick about?
I think if certain people would have found that thing, they would have been like really offended and like it would have ruined their day. They might have called the cops.
I got a found pornography story.
Oh,
It didn't ruin my day at all.
Yeah. I mean, I've found plenty of pornography.
I had friends who would go dumpster diving
What?
for pornography.
on a little bit of a tangent, why is there always pornography out in the woods?
Teens.
Yeah, that's where you hide it.
Yeah, you just hide it out.
Yeah.
So
It's
you
the safest place.
you steal your stepdad's pornos and then you hide them in your.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
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 That's
He'll never find them.
the
there.
woods are full of nefarious acts.
So like, teenage boys are like dogs.
Yeah.
They just like bury stuff.
In more
And
than
they
one
come
way.
back.
In
Yes.
so many ways. Do you want to go in my bone to pick?
Yeah,
or do you want
yeah.
to hear about Jared's pornography story? I don't know.
Let's come back to it. Go
Okay.
ahead and tell us what your goddamn problem is.
I don't know. My bone to pick is Dan told me you need to watch this documentary on cults. And so I turned it on and it wasn't a documentary. It was actually a reality TV series. I did not realize it
To be
until
fair-
hold on. I got
Okay,
an
okay.
episode into it,
Get it
and I
out.
was like,
Get
this
it
is a
out.
reality TV series. You told me it was a documentary. I went into it as a documentary, and now I can't stop watching it because it's reality TV, and that's what they do. So thank you.
You're welcome. So your bone to pick is with me?
I don't know if it's with you. I
Or-
don't know if it's with
So there's not much difference between a documentary and reality TV.
it's definitely set up. It's set up.
Could be considered the same genre even.
Yeah.
A documentary is like you just let things go naturally. You don't impede anything. You sit there and watch
Yeah, but they
things.
do.
You research it.
Like all those documentaries that Michael Moore put out, they can't see. I just did the
Yeah, you did quotation.
quotations in the wrong place like everyone does them.
Mhm.
That's how you do it. Like Michael Moore movies, those, I mean, they're severely slanted in a direction so it looks like
Yeah. I mean,
You know,
that's all. But what they're doing is
all those
they're
food documentaries are like that.
Yeah. And I feel that because everything has multiple angles and you could just ride an ankle ride an angle. Don't ride any ankles. But what they're doing is they're planting these people in this cult with a 10-day trial. And these people are like, oh, like,
Who's planting them?
I don't know who's planting these people. There's no way
The
that these
Lord?
people want to go there. Like, I can't see. Okay, you haven't watched this because you don't have HBO and you refuse to get it. This one guy wanted to go.
For
and
anybody who wants to know what we're talking about, it's called The Garden.
it's called The Garden. And it's this cult. I don't even know if it's a cult. It's just a community of people who want to live off grid. And
It's a baby cult.
it's like, it's just,
That's-
people who want to go enjoy themselves off grid. They don't want to be to like society's limitations.
They
whatnot.
want to bang each other's wives.
Actually, they don't.
How many episodes did you watch?
I think I'm into the fourth one.
So you saw them kick that girl out.
Yes.
So it's definitely a cult.
Yeah.
Shit.
Are you okay?
I just made a noise that
Oh.
I have to edit out later.
I've seen, I don't know, like I've seen people get kicked off of plenty of teams. Are all teams cults? Like basketball teams
Well, I mean,
or
I
swim
think
teams?
that's what for me is what makes it a cult is because they have like a hierarchy of like a group of people that have
Mhm.
just decided they didn't like this person. They were going to get rid of her.
Yeah, is there a leader?
Yeah.
No, so they claim
They
do
claim there
not.
isn't, but there, it's like three
There
or
needs
four.
to be, and so but I don't know. I can kind of see it being, but I also know people who've lived in communes that just kind of wanted to hang out. I don't know, and so it's hard. Like I remember I took a psychology class and we had a unit on cults and we had to talk about like what, and so there are things, but there's like the paranoia. And there's like, there's things that allude for it. It maybe could be a cult one day. I don't know if it's a cult. Anyways, so they plant these people in there. And like, for instance, this gentleman cannot even walk up a hill. That's how out of shape he is. But he wants to go join this cult or I'm sorry, this commune.
Cult.
He wants to join
Cult-mune.
this commune that they live off the land. And then he was all upset that they weren't Navy SEALs. They were just a bunch of hippies. And he didn't.
He was surprised that a
He
bunch of
wasn't-
Navy SEALs didn't want to.
He was, and then he was surprised when they were like talking in tongues and like doing their own
They're speaking in tongues.
rituals. And he was like, "This goes against Christianity." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa!" Like, what were you? I don't know. It just
They have ritual. Is there any sort of like mantra or credo?
not that I know. Maybe I don't
Is
know.
there anything in Christianity that tells you not to be a giant fat ass who can't walk up a hill?
Yeah, it's one of the
Sloths.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's one of the sins.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's weird that he didn't notice that.
It's
Weird.
almost like
Anyway.
you cherry picked the Bible.
Yeah, people don't do that. No one does
You're
that.
right.
But what was interesting was that he wanted to go against. He's like, society is being down, but I don't know. I just kind of felt like he was. What's wrong with society? I don't know. I just
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see where you're going there, and you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't get that fat without some serious support from
And I'm
your
not
community
against
around
overweight
you.
Yes.
people. This is not coming from what I found, and I'm not upset at overweight people. I've been there myself. But what I'm saying is, and like one of my really good friends was,
What's their name?
I'm
I'm
not
just
gonna
kidding.
say. But
One of these days I'm gonna get her. She's gonna blurt it out.
But what I'm saying is he took his own expectations. He wanted to join this commune and was upset that they were not his ideals. And that was the whole point of the commune, is to go against normal society ideals. So why not?
Well,
I don't
people
know.
do that like in every case ever. Like people from Texas come to Colorado and then get upset
Yeah.
that it's not Texas and
Yeah.
try
Or
to
like-
turn it into
yeah.
Texas
Mhm.
and vice versa. People from Colorado go to Texas and then get upset that it's not Colorado and they
Mhm.
do things differently and try to turn it into Colorado.
But what I'm saying is there's no way that this man wanted to join that commune. I
don't know what it was about.
I think
don't know why
HBO reached out to like 5 or 6 people and they're like, hey, go ask to join this commune. Because
Like they set it up. You think?
there was another girl, the one episode that I'm
most
ending
of them
now.
like it and want to stay.
Yeah, that's usually how cults work.
Well, no, because that one girl, I'm not far enough, but she has like the really nice nails, the really nice
She
eyelashes.
stays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was not expecting that.
Yep.
Huh. Well, I think the reason why people join a cult is because they're looking for something different. You got something going on, Jared? You keep looking at your phone. It's my bone to pick.
No.
And you're checking.
Do you have a
the
bone
time.
to pick with
Just-
him playing with his phone?
Here, I'll put it away. Is that better? It's gone
I'm
now.
kidding.
So I'm guess your bone to pick is with cults that might not be cults.
I got
No.
that it's
Communities?
with overweight people.
No, that's not
You
it
hate
at all.
overweight people.
I really dislike that HBO toted this as a documentary, but it's reality TV.
I mean, I'm the one who told you it was a documentary.
Though I think they tote that it's a documentary
they?
as well. Yeah,
I don't know. I just saw a cult thing and I was like, I'm in.
yeah.
Press
and
play.
it's. I mean, obviously, obviously it works.
You're hooked.
But I don't. I'm like one of those people who, like, when people talk about
You get all mad. You're like, you got me.
The
you got me
Bachelor, and they're like,
again.
"You need to watch The Bachelor," and I'm like, I'm good. Or Survivor.
So it's fine if it's an hour and a half long chunk, but if they serialize it, then you have an issue with it?
No, I think that them planting people in for dramatic fare is what I get. Like, that man had to
You
be
think it's fake?
planted. I think it's fake. I think the commune is real. I think them selecting 6 people and then documenting their life beforehand and then sending them in and then
Well,
seeing their turmoils.
I disagree because the cameras were already there. Like they were fully aware of this going. Like they wanted the cameras there. They knew the show was getting made.
Why are they doing
If they were going to do it like they were planting people, they would be secret cameras, I would think.
Yeah, maybe. But how come everybody's going through their back life story? Like they sit down in front of the camera and they're like, "Hi, my name is John. I really struggled with, what." They go through their back and they're like, "This is my daughter. I want to show my daughter that I could survive off grid for a certain amount of time. That's why I'm joining this commune."
Because that's how you make a show.
No, it gives me very reality TV vibes.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. So your bone to pick. See, I have a bone to pick with like you not having a specified bone to pick. And
My specified
this is kind of
bone
a
pick
fun
is
game, actually.
Dan sold me on a reality TV series and I like it. Okay.
So
Just-
your bone to
there we
pick
go.
is
With myself.
with
plot twist.
reality.
The call is
TV?
coming from
Yeah.
inside the house.
It's not supposed to be positive.
Oh,
It's supposed to be something. If you got a bone to pick,
I do.
like
I
this
don't
sounds
like that I like a reality
sounds like
TV
Dan
series.
recommended a TV show and you like it.
I don't like that I like a TV series.
What's
like
crazy?
reality-
That's crazy.
Oh my god!
Can you imagine? Like your friend just tells you to watch something and then you enjoy it? It's so gross.
Why can't you just enjoy
What
it?
kind of world are we living in where people are just running around enjoying TV shows?
Because then I go to work and then I'm like the cooler talk of like, I'm watching this, and then I have to talk about all this drama that happened between these factions of this commune, and people are looking at me like, you're watching a reality TV series.
So it's the stigma that's attached to
So you
Conformity.
feel
I-
judged
you don't want to be
Conformist,
by watching reality TV.
Yeah.
you feel like that's an indictment on your character because you're not the type that watches reality TV. You're not like those.
I'm
There-
not-
There's things like that don't happen in this neighborhood.
And it's a slippery slope. So what if I discover that, I actually do like this, and now I have to go
You're
watch.
scared.
What if
The
you
Bachelor,
discover
and then I-
that
Stop
you
watching
like
reality TV.
slippery slopes? You ever think of that? Like, what if you're just like
Go
really into
skiing.
not,
Yeah.
like snowballing behavior?
And then
And then you're just looking for things to get addicted to. Anything.
I had to set up an intervention.
Maybe you like literally go and find a hill to roll.
go skiing.
Just make yourself a giant
Yeah,
snowball.
snowboarding. Yeah, you won't see me for
Snowballing.
like 3 weeks, and then like, what happened? And she's on her 3rd season of Survivor. We can't pull her out.
I
There's
wouldn't-
there's a new one that's pretty good that I'm kind of ashamed that I like. And it's that.
It's the Golden Bachelor.
No, it's the Squid Game one.
Oh, you were telling me about that.
Yeah. They made a actual reality TV game show out of the Squid Game movie where they do all the same things from the movie.
Is it
They just don't kill them.
American based or is it Korean based?
There's lots of different. There's British people and
Hmm.
American people and all kinds of stuff, but I don't know where they made it. I'm assuming LI.
My son watches Mr. Beast, and he has something very similar, and I kind of get sucked into that.
Squid. Oh yeah, where
Yeah.
they get the money if they
Mhm.
like.
They stay in the container for so many
Yeah.
hours.
I've seen that.
It's like the new wave of reality TV series.
I think there was a reality TV show about that, wasn't there?
About Mr. Beast?
No, where you get locked inside a case and you got to stay in there for a certain amount of time to win money, like Trapped or
A
No.
show?
some corny
It seems
name.
like a really dumb show.
I have a vague memory. Have you seen some of the
Yeah,
reality
you're
TV
right.
shows
You're
out
right.
there?
You're right. Yeah.
That's why I don't watch them. That's
That's
why I don't
not-
want people to know about this, that I'm airing all over America, that
Yep.
I'm now
really
watching
dumb
reality
is
TV series.
turns out is not a very high bar for reality TV.
There is no bar.
They're like, is it really dumb? Sign us up.
Brilliant.
Is it smart? We don't like that. We don't. People hate that, and they probably actually would, like the ghost hunting stuff, where they actually figure out what the ghost is, and like nobody likes it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went on one season and then got canceled because they're like, that was too real.
Yeah. Well, real life is boring.
It
Yeah.
is kind of boring. There's no magic.
Escapism. And maybe that's what I need. Maybe that's why people join cults, is to escape. And now I'm watching this reality TV series is to escape.
Maybe
You're
you want
in
to
the
join
reality TV cult.
Oh no.
Oh, you should join the cult.
The reality TV series cult?
a cult.
No,
like
just a cult.
Oh. Okay.
That then we can do a podcast about.
It's like our next. So Melinda ate her own 200 wings. So now we're going to have her join a cult and see
Yeah.
where that goes.
Just make you do dumb stuff.
I did tell Dan that I was going to drink some colloidal silver. So that's where that all started, the cult stuff.
The Love Is One cult.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not where I've been into cults.
Yeah, that was my
As
first.
sin-
Since,
yeah.
Since, as I said, I took a class on it. I was like, this is
I
kind of
think
fun.
that's why we're friends, because we're into dumb shit like cults and serial killers. And
Yeah. Yep.
should start a cult.
I have been told that I have the charm of a cult leader.
Who said that? Who said that?
I don't
Did you say
remember.
that?
No. And at first I was like insulted. And then I was like, wait, that's kind of cool.
That's a rare attribute. Not everybody has that.
Yeah. Oh, it was Casey. Casey told me that.
Okay. Yeah. Jared, what is your take on cult?
I
know
probably
that,
shouldn't have said.
Wait,
name.
you said that you were going to catch me doing that.
Damn it.
So here we go. You're the first one to do that.
No,
So-
because you were like, who told you? You caught me. Oh, you bitch. Oh, you bitch. You got me.
Jared, what's your take on cults? Or what's your take on reality TV series?
I don't think you should be feel ashamed for watching reality TV. It's no more ridiculous than any other TV
No,
show.
do you
out
like
there.
it though? Are you into it?
Does sports count as reality TV?
Mm-hmm.
I watch those. I watch like car shows where they
Like
They buy a
Grand.
car
What is that
and-
called?
put an LS in a Porsche or something like that. I watch shows like that. It's
They've got
basically
some
reality
really
TV
dumb.
show.
I just watched one where they literally just wash the car.
That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
These guys
They
are actually
like
making
find
cool shit.
cars, lowball people on them, wash them, and then sell them for twice as much.
Hmm.
They don't do any mechanical work. They just wash them.
Yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess so. Technically, I'm a reality TV consumer. Colts, I'm all for it, man. If you want to go live
That's
out
what
in
I'm
a commune
saying.
and
Yeah.
disconnect from
And
society,
these people don't seem like they're hurting anybody. They just want to live off the land.
They
And
just want to go camping.
Yeah,
I
they just
they're
think.
not
wanna
hurting
camping.
anyone yet.
yet. And that's the thing that I think that can tip very easily is like you see a lot of paranoia and
Well,
then
We can get real conspiratorial on this, but like most of the ones that you know about never hurt anybody except for
Jonestown.
Jonestown.
Or
Yeah,
what
true.
about the one in Waco?
Jonestown
Oh,
or-
I guess in Waco. I don't want to get into it, but
I mean, there was claims.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
none,
they-
except for that one guy who was the David
Yeah.
Koresh.
Yeah.
None of the, as far as we know, none of the other members of the cult ever did anything to anyone.
Mhm.
And the Ruby Ridge guys, I don't think they were a cult, but
No, he was just
they were just,
sawing off some shotgun barrels.
yeah.
Also, do you think it's because and dude, we can go down the rabbit hole. I was going to say if people get so scared because we are again like a very
Might as well. We don't have a format.
a very Christian nation, and so I think people get kind of freaked out that there's something different or there's different thought. I don't know.
Well, yeah. And like David Koresh thought he was the second coming, and not everybody thought that, I guess.
You know what's weird about that Love Is One versus David Koresh? He was tracked by the FBI and was deemed a threat versus that Love Is One. She said that she was the second. She was God.
Nobody
And
believed her
Jesus.
because she was a woman, I think.
It's a hard sell.
Yeah.
No, I thought maybe because she was an alcoholic. Maybe. was
Well,
the-
yeah.
the
I mean,
reason.
and
They're
you
like,
could just watch her videos and stuff and just
Yeah.
be like, oh, this lady's
But, like,
drunk.
The ATF were upset that David Koresh was buying weapons versus that Love Has One was selling really heavily. Like they're like, oh, we're selling heavy metal elixirs to people to drink. Like,
Yeah,
I
but
feel like that was
that's
dangerous.
allowed.
That's dangerous.
The
that literally killed her.
who's that guy? Oh man, Kenneth Copeland. He was selling colloidal silver during the pandemic and saying it would cure COVID.
Yeah.
He didn't get
Really?
in any trouble.
His
All he got
prayer-
was a cease and desist.
Did you see his prayer when he away COVID?
Yeah.
Did it work? Oh.
See, like I think those are the ones like we have to worry about. Those are the cults that
Insidious.
Oh, yeah,
they're
'cause
just, like,
he's-
actively taking money from people who need
Well,
yeah,
their
and he
money.
has serious resources. Like
Yeah.
he could actually do
Well,
something.
this cult, like a legitimate cult, that guy drained the bank account of $300,000 from selling like colloidal silver, and people would join and give them their savings and
Oh, the Love Is One.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought that was because I watched that documentary. You told me that was a documentary. That was a documentary. And then you said, hey, you know what? Here's another documentary. And I was like, alrighty then. And then it felt like it was set up.
I mean, I didn't tell you anything about.
I felt like I was set up for a
you made this
a
all
good evening.
this is
watching
all in
a
your head.
reality TV series.
because you watched that on your own, and then you told me about it, and I said I already saw it. Remember?
Which one?
The Love Is One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I
I
was-
didn't even tell you it was a documentary. You had already watched it. See, you just built up this whole
Yeah.
thing in your head.
Jared's just sitting. He's been looking at his phone, and now he's giving me like a judgmental look because now I'm watching reality TV series. So this is what I was worried about.
So
It's pretty-
your
you should
bone
be
to pick
ashamed
is
of
with
yourself.
Jared?
Yeah.
You got a bone to pick with Judgy Jared over there? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Don't be so judgy, dude.
I can't help it. She watches reality TV.
Why are your arms crossed? It's very aggressive.
I mean, his whole energy over there, like he was all relaxed. He started
Putting
looking
off
at his
some
phone.
bad energy,
He was like
man.
texting someone. Oh, now he's
That's
all
good.
like sheepish.
Now you look like you don't care.
Oh.
Well, I think that bone is picked clean.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't know what.
I don't
bone
even
we
know
were
if there was
picking,
even
but
a bone.
there's definitely not anything left on
There
it.
was, yeah. It was a metaphysical bone.
I would just like to mention that when you first said that it was a reality show about colts,
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were talking about baby horses. So for the first
Colts.
couple of minutes of that, I was very confused. I was like,
You're like, these aren't guns at all.
It's kind of like the episode that you were talking about, Ann Bush.
yeah,
Ann Bush and Colts.
and Bush sales.
we're having a good night.
All right. Well, I thought that.
Wait, we can't go yet.
Oh.
Tell me about your found porn.
Oh, found porn story. It's not that good. It was there was a house on the corner of the street down the road from us that had burnt down,
Oh, you
Yeah.
told me this one.
and we went in there and went into the shack. Actually, the kids up the road found the porn. It was, I mean, thousands of magazines. Probably the walls were like stacked up with them. It was like
Like,
pater
like
for a
in the
bunch of-
walls or just like in front of the walls?
He had just been stacking it
Oh.
in the shed that was next to the house.
Oh.
So it was partially burned up. Many a good pornos were lost in that fire. God only knows how many were inside.
Should we have a
Do you-
moment of silence for
Do you
Yes,
think
if-
that
I think that would be
I do have a question on the porn
appropriate.
burnt
though.
porn?
What was the timeline between the porn magazines? Do you think he was collecting it weekly, daily, monthly?
Years. This was
What was
I
the
know- I
what was
know.
the vintage of the was like 70s porn?
1980s to
Lot of
19 or
Bush.
Lot of Bush.
1960s to ambush.
And
but
Bush?
this was Ambush was not featured in it at that time. And this was also, this would have been early 2000s, so I think the Bush hadn't quite phased out by then. They were
I
still working on
I
that.
think it's crazy because it's 30 years. So like you have to think what was big 30 years ago and then in the 90s. Or I guess it's in the
It's it's been should be. I think it is back.
print porn.
God no. I mean the Bush.
Oh,
the Bush
Bush is making a comeback.
administration.
And then some. Like they're growing it everywhere now.
Anyways, so I was just
I'm here
curious
for
on
it.
like how long this guy had been collecting it and if like maybe he was like subscribing to it, or do you think he was purchasing it, or how do you think he accumulated
I think he
it?
was a
Oh, yeah,
connoisseur.
people
I
used
think
to
he
have
collected it.
subscriptions to porn.
Yeah. It was probably 20 years worth of. It was the most porn I've ever seen.
I think
in
my
one
dad
single
had
place.
one, like Playboy or Hustler or something.
Yeah, it's like any other magazine.
Yeah.
You get.
Just came in like an envelope or something.
I think my parents delivered mail and it would come in like a black bag.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Black bag of porn, which is kind of exciting because you're like, what kind of porn is this? What are they into? It could be anything. It
I
could be
think about
feet.
that with like boxes. So I work at I don't know.
Don't say where you work.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say.
Yeah.
It. Anyways, sometimes.
Where do you work?
limbs- Anyways, sometimes limbs are sent out and they get lost in the mail.
So you can't say that and not tell people what you do.
I'm not gonna tell people what I do. Anyways, sometimes limbs are sent out and they get lost in the mail, and I worry about those packages because, like, where do they go?
Do you work at a cult?
No.
Oh.
Maybe I don't know. No.
I don't think there was any limb cults anyway.
That you've heard of.
Not that I know of.
I will give you a hint. I am not a scientist. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah, we already knew that.
Yeah.
So-
All right, let's wrap this one up.
all right, sorry guys.
Yeah, we're good? Everybody good? Nothing
Wait,
else?
Can I have a beer?
We're good.
Oh, I think Dan has a bone to pick.
I do. I do have a bone to pick. My bone to pick this week is kind of vague. It's really just with dumb questions that I get kind of like a lot. So I have to kind of explain it I sell a lot of things like on the internet or, you know, through websites and stuff. And they're like used stuff. So I get all of these really dumb questions. Like, I was selling a guitar one time and it had been painted. And the guy asked me what color it was before. And I'm just like, what fucking difference does it make what color it was before? It's not that color now.
Do you think it's because
like if you were buying a car, you went to the lot and you're like, well, it was in a wreck and it was, you know, they fixed it up and painted it. You're like, what color was it before?
Do you think
why would anybody
was
know
there
that
an
or care?
undercoat? Was there an undercoat by chance? Like, was the color? So I don't know anything about. Okay, you're giving me a look. I don't know anything about what you're selling.
Uh-huh.
Could there be a chance that he wanted like to grind it down and have the original color, or is there a chance that
That's
original
not
color?
possible.
Okay,
You cannot do that. So
could the original color
Which is-
bleed through
Well-
the new color?
What if
Huh?
he's trying to go for like a vintagey look where he
wears it through?
wears it through?
I mean, maybe, but
And then, like,
No.
what if you were to paint it yellow and it was originally red and the red bled through?
well, if it was already painted, then it's done.
Oh, okay.
Like it's not going to bleed through later on.
hmm
It's set up and done. But I mean, if he wanted to wear through the paint somehow, I don't know, maybe. But
Maybe he's just lonely and
it's a
looking to
dumb
chat.
question.
Yeah. Maybe he's just
Another
like,
one that I get on stuff is, why are you selling it?
that's fair. I feel
That is
like,
not fair.
yeah, no. I
No,
feel
okay.
Like, go ahead.
I'd like to propose an experiment that you and me are going to do together.
Okay.
We're going to go to Walmart or King Soopers, Best Buy, any place where they sell things. And we're going to ask them why they're selling stuff.
Are you a goods? So, like, you're saying that you're a store? That's what you're saying?
Well, I'd
I
like
mean,
to
I-
propose a counterpoint to that.
Counterpoint me, bro.
That's a new item. It makes sense that they are selling newly manufactured item. This is a used item. So I think it's perfectly reasonable to say, you know, is there something wrong with it? Why are you getting rid of it?
Well, yeah, then ask that question.
Are you
But
annoyed with something?
Why
like
are
that
you
does?
selling it is none of your fucking business. I'm selling it because I need money or I don't like it. Or
well, maybe that's what they want to hear is like, I am
but
selling
how is
this.
that useful to
I'm
them?
selling this because it does this weird clicking thing and it just annoys me and I don't like it. And they're like, oh, I don't want to buy it because I would get annoyed by that weird clicking thing as well.
All right, but if you're selling something that is a used item and it does a clicking thing, which means it doesn't work correctly, you would need to disclose that in the first place.
And maybe they're just worried that you wouldn't disclose that in the first place.
Right. So they would crack the code by asking you why I'm selling
They're
it.
like, hey, are you being dishonest right now?
Are you lying to me? Is your listing a lie?
And I don't know. Dylan, I keep on dropping his name. I probably shouldn't. Never mind.
2 for 2 tonight.
Anyways, he was selling something not too long ago, and they asked, and I thought it was fair because, like, what if, I don't know, like, I thought maybe they needed to rephrase it. Like, is there something about this that you don't like, or is there a reason? Is there a reason why you're selling this, Dan?
I think we should go to stores and just like we should do all the things that people do
Online?
and just like. I
Is
think
this
it'd
still
be
for sale?
Yeah. Is this still for sale? You're like holding it.
You buy a container of yogurt, and you're like, why are you selling this? And the cashier's like, I don't know, it's my job.
What do you mean?
I'm being employed.
No, I mean, like, why are you selling it? Why do you want it anymore? What's wrong with it?
Yeah.
We're a store.
This is what we do. Maybe if you put like, instead of putting your name, maybe put something like incorporated. Or do you even put your name on these listings?
I mean, it depends on which thing it is.
Yeah.
But,
Maybe you could just tote that you are just a.
well, on the flip side, so, you know, if people, when it's convenient for them, they treat you like you're a store. And when it's convenient for them, they treat you like you're just a guy selling some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you know, it's annoying.
I had.
You're expected to, like, have a staff that can answer them immediately and ship things the same day. And this is all things that I do because I'm awesome. But, but then like when it's, they want to talk to you about why you're selling something or what color it used to be, like you wouldn't get that.
So you
at
would.
Walmart.
So
I'm going to start asking that.
So
yeah,
I know these people who went to an appliance store to purchase, I don't know if it was like a microwave or like a stove or something. It was like an appliance, and they have those appliance stores here in town. And they were asking a lot of questions about the appliance that they were trying to buy. And the salesman kind of got snarky with them. And they're like, well, they're like, well, what's the difference between this and this one? And he's like, the color. Like, and he seemed kind of like upset that they were asking so many questions, but
that's his job.
Yeah.
I guess I can see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind answering the questions. They're just dumb. I just don't understand why they're asking them. Like, you know what I mean?
So your bone to pick is with humanity?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Huge manatees.
Huge manatees and bushes and colts.
I mean, like, think it, just take another second, think it through. Does that information help you in any way? Don't ask the question.
No, maybe he is lonely. Like Jared brought up the point, like maybe he's just a lonely man and just wants a little conversation.
I'll give you that. I've
had
some back and forth with some people and it turned out to be cool guys or whatever. But
did it start out with a dumb question and then after you start talking to them?
Actually, that has happened.
And so they're just misunderstood.
Maybe.
Or having a bad day or in a hurry.
Maybe they just can't like properly
well.
explain themselves in this climate.
What's the climate? Desert?
I don't know. That's just what
that's
what Johnny Depp said in that movie. But maybe they can't articulate.
It's probably more what it is. Or maybe they're
Did you
just
say climate
stupid.
or weather?
I don't know what you're talking about.
In Fear and Loathing. Where it's like, I've never been able to properly explain myself.
I was like, I'm going through all the,
Never mind.
I haven't seen that in so long.
Move on. Yeah, that's why I can't. Me either. That's why. Have you had any experiences like dumb question experiences?
All day, every day. I just can't
I know
go
you
into
have.
It. Yeah.
You've worked in a bunch of customer service oriented positions, as have I. What's the dumbest question you've ever gotten?
Dumbest question?
Yeah.
It wasn't so much a question, but at the old lube shop, I had an argument with a guy who insisted that his car did not have any oil in it. But I pulled out the dipstick and showed him, like, clearly this is how this works. It dips into your oil. So there is physically impossible that oil pan does not have any oil in it because, see?
Yeah.
And he insisted because some oil had dripped, and oil has a tendency to look much more dramatic than it actually is when it leaks. So it looks like there's a bunch there. Mm-hmm. And he thought that the whole 5 quarts had leaked out onto his driveway.
I feel like 5 quarts you would
know if there was 5 quarts.
Well, maybe he doesn't know.
Driveway.
Maybe he doesn't understand spatial concept. Maybe
a lot of people don't understand
Yeah.
how much 5 quarts of oil is. Like that would drown your entire yard.
I think I just had a conversation about a quart. I just had a conversation about oil containers not too long. Was it with you? I had a conversation about oil containers like not too long ago because I couldn't spatially wrap my head around how much the person was describing.
It's about yay much.
No.
Hey, Jared, were you there that time that it was a similar situation, but it was a lady, and we changed her oil, and she went into the parking lot and checked her own oil by looking in the cap, and then put 5 more quarts of oil in there, and that till she could see it, and then came back and yelled at us for not filling her car up.
Good God. Nope, I wasn't there for that.
I think that was our other friend, because I've heard this story before. Our other friend that used to work there.
Yeah.
I think that person told me about that.
Yeah. It was really lucky that she came back to yell at us.
Yeah.
Because we were like, do not start your car. It will ruin your car.
Yeah.
And then we had to like she had to get it towed to a real shop, and 'cause
What-
we're like, we're not touching it.
What
Yeah.
do you think? Why did she feel like she had to do that? I like out of curiosity.
Check her own oil, or
Why did she feel like she needed? Did she not know that there was like you guys provided oil? Like
she was just she was a little older. I think she just didn't know how
was
to
confused?
actually
Oh,
check her oil, and she was doing it by looking in the engine.
oh no!
She thought that you could see it when it's full. She didn't use the dipstick.
There was definitely a lot of presuppositions about, well, and just in general, there's a lot surrounding mechanics.
Well, yeah, car
people
stuff
work
is,
on cars. People go in there and assume that they're trying to rip me off. What they didn't know is like, we don't care. Like,
yeah, we don't.
I used to give free shit away all the time.
Why would I rip you off?
Yeah, I don't. I have no skin in this game.
I make
So-
an hourly wage. I don't.
So they're coming out of there assuming that we didn't fill our car up because we're
I-
trying to charge her for oil that we didn't give her.
will tell you right now that my line of work, people think I'm trying to rip them off all the time. I think that's just anywhere. I
They
think
do that though.
Yeah, I think that's just anywhere.
I know they do that in your line of work.
I-
not where you were.
I was like, what?
I've had this experience that I don't want to.
Yeah.
I don't want to say too much.
Yeah, and I know why you've had that experience, but I don't think that they're trying to rip you off. I think they're
No, they're trying to add stuff. They're trying to make money.
mean,
it's
just
not a
like-
rip off. Like I would have gotten the services that they sold me, but they didn't need to sell them to me at that
Mm.
point. Which is, that's what. I also worked at a different lube store, a more famous one that everyone knows, and they did that all the time, like the sales, and I think that's where people, they get that experience from, and like normal shops, like real shops,
Yeah.
they will,
Yeah,
some will,
I also worked at another name brand one that also did. Some,
yeah, the hard
very shady
sales
shit.
where they sell you things that don't actually help. But yeah, anyway, that was my bone to pick. It was stupid questions. I don't know how we got on oil changes.
because you worked in customer service, and customer service receives a
You
lot
do,
of
yeah, you get some dumb
so
questions.
many dumb questions. And honestly, I was thinking, well, Jared was trying to think of a dumb question during my line of I think I blacked them all out. I just was so infuriated by probably how many dumb questions that I've received over my massive time, like grocery stores, big box lumber stores. Like I just blocked it all out because
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, there was.
that
Oh, I used to work.
That's-
I used to work at a
Right.
fast food restaurant.
Yeah.
I've probably heard every dumb question in the world and every dumb thing. And I used to work at an auto parts store.
Ooh,
There's
Yeah.
no dumber group of customers in the world.
Well, I imagine.
Because it's like a mix of people who know nothing and a bunch of people who think they know everything.
they know just enough
And,
to be
like,
dangerous.
nothing in between. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, sorry if you shop at Checker Auto Parts. They don't exist anymore. I can say that.
I was like, what are you doing? I was like,
I think there are still parts of the nation where they still have them.
Oh wait, not if you shop at Checker Auto
Yeah.
Parts. The people who work there are awesome.
yeah, they're so great. If you're a listener and
But if you're a shopper, you fuck yourself. Just kidding. They don't exist anymore. Do they still? It's all.
Not here, but I think there are.
it's like saying
places where they do.
Blockbuster. Like, oh, those people at Blockbuster.
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
I bet they got
we
the
could talk about-
dumbest questions. People who worked at Blockbuster.
You think so?
Oh yeah.
I mean, what could you ask, really?
Are there any nipple scenes in here?
Does Reese Witherspoon get her tits out in this one?
Like, no, sir. He's got another
No,
one.
she doesn't.
What about this one?
What about this one? It's got like a whole stack. What about this one?
Like he has
Sir,
like every
she-
Reese
she never
Witherspoon
does.
movie.
What about this one? Sir, she never does. This one?
I'm going to rent them all just in case.
I'll just
get them all.
deep dive.
All right. Bone is, there's no meat.
It's picked.
Click.
Thanks for listening.